Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We are here with week number 47 of hashtag 52 projects. Hashtag 52 projects are just simple projects that I find on YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram. I make them up, what have you, just to kind of get your crafty mojo flowing, give you a sense of accomplishment, and they're great craft fair items. Almost all of them are under 30 minutes start to finish, including matting, and this week is no different. This week for week 47, we're going to do make a box with Tmika, who is Scrap the World. All you need for this is your cardstock and your paper trimmer, scoreboard, whatever you want. So we're going to do boxes. You can make a box for any size item that you want. You have an option of doing a half lid or a full lid, like so. Okay, again, I learned these from Tmika, who is Scrap the World. I do it all the time, and this is all you need to do. When you are making your box, say we're going to make a little box for this stack of cards, okay? All you need to do is measure whatever item that you're going to put in the box, okay? So these are 3x3 cards. I already know that. So I want to give them a little bit of room. So I want to make mine, well, let me use this scratch paper. I'm going to do 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay. So what we need to do is draw, let me move this out of the way. We need to draw the base of what we want. So I know I'm going to do a square, and I want it to be 3 1/4 on all 4 sides. Okay. Now we need to measure how tall we want our box, so our depth. This is about it's a little over 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do 1 inch. That's fine. So I know I want my sides to be 1 inch. Okay, so I want that side to be 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. So basically I'm making this box right here. Okay, the one I showed you, 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay, squares are super easy because you don't have to think about the measurements. But now we need to go ahead and add this up and do our math. And so our first measurement is going to be 1 plus 3 1/4 plus 1. So 3, 4, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Squares are easy. Okay, that's going to be for our bottom. Now our lid for squares is going to be the exact same measurement, but all you're going to do is make your paper a 1/16 of an inch bigger. Thank you, Brittany, BB's Crafts, here on YouTube, for that tip, because I was making box lids so much harder than that, and you just got to pull it out 1/16 of an inch. So I will show you that in a second, okay? Squares are easy. Let's go ahead and build this box. So let me move all this out the way. 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Super simple. We're going to do this really fast. All right, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And we are going to score at 1 inch on all 4 sides because we want our sides to be 1 inch. So this is where you can use your scoreboard if you want. I'm just going to use my paper trimmer. Whatever you have, you're good. Okay. So basically what we did is, you know, this is our 5, or excuse me, this is going to be our 3 1/4 square. And these are our 1 inch sides. See? Very easy. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're going to varnish our box. And you guys know how to build a box. We're gonna varnish it and build it. And just for time's sake, I just did half the box off camera. You guys know how to build a box. You cut the tabs, use your adhesive of choice, and there's your bottom box. Okay, that's it. So now our cards are going to fit nicely in our bottom box, right? So now we need to do our lid. If we are going to do our lid, to do a full coverage lid like we did in our orange box, see, it completely covers it. We're going to do the same measurement, but we're going to pull it out that 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so let's get our paper trimmer back, and we are going to do, since we already know it's 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, we're going to do 5 1/4 in that little 16th mark. I don't know what that measurement is called, but here's the 5 1/4, and we're going to pull it over one little tick mark, the tiny tick mark, the 1/16 of an inch tick mark. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So the 5 1/4 and one tick mark. By 5 1/4 and one tick mark. Or you can do the old school way, where you do, I'm not even going to tell you the old school way. You guys can look at the other videos, okay? All right, so now we need to go ahead and score 1 inch on all 4 sides, because that's what we had in our little diagram that we picked. And 1 inch. We're going to burnish and build. So burnish, 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 and build. So you're just going to cut your tabs. I'm doing pinwheel on the lids. You can do traditional box either way. If you don't know what I'm on about, check out the other 40-something videos that I did a box, and I go over this very slowly, but you should be following every week and you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, and for video's sake, I'm just using the tiniest piece of score tape. Obviously you're gonna, oh my gosh, you're gonna do a better job with your adhesive. Normally I use wet glue, but it's not going to dry fast enough for me. So if you are using score tape, make sure you have good coverage, not just this little piece. But for the tutorial's sake, this is fine. You know, match your corners, take your time, build your lid, and we're done. See how quick and easy these things go? And then here you go. Your lid will fit nicely. Now, when you take your time and do your corners properly, your box will go on nicely. It's just, mine's getting caught because it's not on there correctly. All right, so there you go. Now you can do the little lid, like the 1/2 inch lid, if you want to. Like a little half box. You're going to build that again. So we already know that we need our inside to be 3 1/4. Okay, now we just need these pieces to be a 1/2 inch. So 3 plus a half plus a half, that's 4 1/4. And we know it's a square, so we're going to do 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. But because it's the lid, you're going to push it over that one tick mark to the left. Okay, so let's grab our, oh, that's textured paper. So here's my 4 1/4, but I'm going to push it over that one little tick mark. Okay, 4 1/4 and one little tick mark. And then I'm going to go ahead and score 1 inch. Yes, this is how I craft. I know I have so much stuff underneath this paper trimmer, but this is legit how I craft. I don't move anything. I just go for it. And then I wonder why my paper is crooked and whatnot. See, I have like pens and whatnot on there. I don't care. Here we go. The 4 1/4 and one little tick mark. This one. Okay. Let's move that out of the way. And actually, I'm lying to you. We wanted to do 1/2 inch, so we were supposed to score only at 1/2 inch, which is fine. Don't toss your paper. You know, no one's going to notice that little tiny mark. But if it's going to throw you off, then go ahead and redo it. But I forgot we were doing the 1/2 inch box. So this would have been too small if I wouldn't have caught that. So we want to do 1/2 inch, not 1 inch. Sorry. 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay? Which is going to be perfectly fine. You're just going to go ahead and same thing, varnish on that 1/2 inch mark. So you're just going to have a little extra layer, like a little extra score mark, but it's fine. You'll be creative. So cut your little squares in 1/2 inch and miter and miter. So I'm glad I actually did that, so that way you guys can see it is not a big deal. Don't throw your project away because you mismeasured, blah blah blah. It will be fine. Nobody will notice. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and score tape all 4 sides and build the box. All right, so I did all but one off camera because you guys know how to build the box. So see, you just have that extra little score mark there, but your top paper is going to cover it. It's not a big deal, okay? So here's your little short top, which will fit in there nicely like so. Again, if you match up your edges correctly or they're completely glued down, it's perfect. So you can do your little half lid, okay? So that's your choice. Full coverage, like so, or the little half lid. Now here's another blooper that I'm glad that I accidentally did on purpose, right? See how I did not match my corners exactly, so it looks a little jank. If you can take your tab off and fix it, you know, go ahead and do that. But if you can't, just manipulate your paper to fit. It will fit this paper. You know, just make sure you cover that up with some, you know, designer paper. Mine, I could probably take off and fix it, but if you can't, cover it up, okay? That's it. Now, I know some of you are like, okay, what about a rectangle? Rectangle is going to be the same thing. So, let's move all of these out of the way. Okay, let me find another scratch paper. Here we go. Let's make a box for, I don't know, your bone folder. Okay, let's measure the bone folder, which the bone folder is roughly, it's a little over 6. So I'm going to do mine 6 1/4. Okay, so here's where it gets a little funky, okay? Because we know that the long side needs to be 6 1/4, okay? But our short sides don't need to be that long because it's not a square, it's a rectangle. So this is about 1 inch. It's less than 1 inch, so I'm going to make mine 1 inch, okay? So it's 1 inch, 1 inch. Okay, so I want to make my box about 1/2 inch in depth. So I know I need to add 1/2 inch here. I need to add 1/2 inch here. I need to add a 1/2 inch here, and I need to add a 1/2 inch here, okay? So now I need to add this up, again, the same way, straight down. First measurement, a 1/2 and a 1/2 is 1, plus 6 is 7 1/4, by a 1/2 and a 1/2 is 1, and this is only 1 inch, so 7 1/4 by 2, okay? So let's do, I'm just cutting it here off camera. Yeah, and I also cut on my lap. And 7 1/4. Okay, 7 1/4. Okay, same thing. Now I only want a 1/2 inch, so I'm gonna score on all 4 sides at a 1/2. My paper looks off. This is why you shouldn't cut on your lap. Anyway. Okay. So 1/2. 1/2. 1/2. And 1/2. Same thing, varnish and build. I swear this paper's off, but okay, so varnish. Now this one, because it's a rectangle, I got a traditional build the sides, so I'm just going to cut the little slits on both short sides and build my box like so, like that and like that. I just built it off camera because you guys get the point. And now my bone folder has a cute little box. Same thing, if you want the full coverage lid, which I would suggest because it's a 1/2 inch, just make the same measurement, but you know, pull it out to that little tick mark. So you would do this one right here. Here's your 7 1/4, and you're going to pull it out to that little tick mark right there by 2 1/16. Okay, and then you have the full coverage box. If you want to work with a short lid, you can figure that out. Again, the same way, you're just going to build your box. We know this is 6 1/4. We know these are 1, so we're going to add 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. So yours would be 6 3/4 by 1 1/2 if you want the short lid. I can math, look at me. Remember in school when you were like, what do I need to learn how to add fractions? Well, nobody told me I was going to become a crafter and have to add fractions, so I'm really good at it now. If they would have just taught me this in school, I probably would have had straight A's. Anyway, so that's just what you're going to do. So anything you can put in a box, you can make your own boxes. Thank you, Tmika, for figuring out that formula. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you make some boxes. Bye.